What's a song you love but avoid listening to because of how powerfully emotional it is for you? I had a good friend from high school commit suicide around 25 years old. We used to work together in a restaurant and the store radio would play a song that he always absolutely fucking hated. Now I cry whenever I hear Chandelier by Sia. Hurt Johnny Cash cover. There's just something about how it's sung, you know? His voice is so broken and it's just so powerful with all of those clips from his life. I first heard this song when I was having daily panic attacks and just wanted to die, but listening to it on repeat kept me here because it let me know others suffered the same way I did. How could you leave us, NF? The pure sorrow in his voice breaks me each time I hear it. I'm relatively sure I've heard that he had everyone leave the studio while he recorded it because how raw and emotional he got. He is one of those people that I'd listen to at 3 in the morning when I'm in that weird sad phase of the night. Little Talks by Of Monsters and Men. It's beautiful and so well done. But this song makes me feel actual grief every time I hear it. The way the man and woman talk past each other, and the way it captures the desire to talk to a loved one you've lost one more time are powerful and moving. I love this song and hate it in equal amounts. I like how the writer said that you can either interpret it as a woman literally talking to the ghost of her dead loved one or as a woman going insane after losing said loved one. And though the truth may vary, this ship will carry our body safe to shore. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John, for multiple reasons. Did you see the Sarah Bareilles version? Then you can watch the clip where Elton John tells her it's the best version he has ever heard. Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here. My cousin sang and played this on guitar at my mom's funeral. I was only 13 at the time, but I still remember it being so eerily beautiful. He and his mom, my mom's sister, were killed in a car accident in January this year. The grief is overwhelming. Every time I hear this song my heart feels so hollow. But it also makes me happy. Emotions are weird. Father and son Cat Stevens. There's just something about it. Every time I think about that song I think of my dad and me just bonding. Black Star by David Bowie. That song is powerful and terrifying. It scares me and makes me sad. It's Bowie confronting death and his own mortality. It was released 2 days before his death. His music has had such an effect on my life that the music video usually brings me to tears and the song saddens me. I used to belt out Starman every time it came on the radio. It just makes me quiet now. I hope his spirit is traveling through the cosmos now. We were lucky to have Hi Monsieur. One More Light, Linkin Park. Shadow of the Day by Linkin Park. I can barely listen to Linkin Park at all since Chester passed. But this song hits hard. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Swing Life Away, Rise Against Happier, Marshmallow. Same with Happier. That video hits way too hard for me. Sounds stupid, but Sweden by C418. I only played Minecraft for a very short time, but the comments on those videos are like a haymaker of nostalgia. My sister passed away of leukemia when she was 18. We were both big fans of My Chemical Romance and would always sing for each other whenever we were bored. Now I can't listen to the songs Mama, Cancer and Helena without breaking down. The amount of links to these songs is too damn low. Woods by Bon Iver. Bon Iver is always a win, an emotional win, but a win. Bon Iver's voice sounds so haunting to me, in a good way. Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. See, my dad had just made me break up with my new boyfriend in order to marry me off to his best friend's son. So I spent the next 2 days in bed, crying. Incidentally, there was a 48-hour marathon of Ghost on TV, too, since I was too distraught to get out of bed and change the channel. I had to watch that movie for 2 days. The song still brings back a lot of bad memories tied to that event. For those wondering, I didn't marry the son. On the third day, I ran away and showed up at my boyfriend's apartment, called my parents, and told them to eat shit. That got me disowned for a while. I eventually got undisowned on my wedding day, when I married my boyfriend. And we've so far been married for 15 years and have 2 kids. But damn if that song doesn't get me every time. Leaves from the Vine from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Lightning crashes, live. Cats in the Cradle does it every time for me. Yep, this one just destroys me. Especially now that I have my own son. It used to just make me think about how my dad was never around and that I haven't talked to him in years. Now I also think about my son and how I am going to make fucking sure when he says let's go play, that I have time to go play. The dance Garth Brooks' Lost Friend, and this song sums up a lot. Hear You Me by Jimmy Eat World. Rise by Skillet. I love the song. The ending is just very triggering. Sometimes I failed to skip it or turn the volume down when it got to that part. I don't avoid listening to it, but American Pie has a lot of emotional meaning to me. In elementary and middle school, I really hated anything popular and had almost no social interaction outside of my very close friends. The first time I really opened up was in my freshman year of high school. I was in a club, and we went on a field trip. We got on the bus to go home at 6 p.m. Wintertime, so dark as ink. One of the people in the club was playing music and everyone on the bus besides the driver were singing along, including the teacher. American Pie came on, and I decided that I would sing along with everyone else. It was the first time I really engaged socially with other people in almost a decade. That song makes me very nostalgic and a bit sad when I listen to it. All I Want by Codaline, Taylor Swift's newish song, Soon You'll Get Better, is sad for lots of reasons. But the Lover album came out in the middle of a rough time for me. My daughter was born nearly 3 months early when I was 28 weeks pregnant and had to have a surgery. She was in the NICU for 78 days before coming home. She's fine now. I was painting a dresser for her while listening to the album for the first time. And when that song came on, I bawled like an absolute baby and couldn't listen to it again. I think I will forever skip it when it comes on because of all the rough memories it brings up of that time. Beautiful song though. Into the Light by In This Moment. My mom died the night I was at their show. Now every time that song comes on, it breaks me. What If the Storm Ends by Snow Patrol was my girlfriend's favorite song. I liked it just as much, and usually we'd hear it together heading to school. Was always the first one at her playlist. She passed out in a bus crash 2 years ago. I hope Emily's fine up there with you too. I miss you both a lot. Daydreaming by Radiohead. It's a gorgeous song to listen to, but it just makes me want to cry at the end, and I don't know why. Wish You Were Here. Ever since one of my close friends was in an accident and put into a medically induced coma before she died 3 days later, I still remember her last words to me. She always listened to Pink Floyd in the car. Daylight by Maroon 5. I met a girl last summer while I was abroad and we had one night together. We stayed up the entire night and talked and had an amazing time just being together, and I had to leave and that song played as I was on my way back to the States, and I cried, and I still cry every time I hear it because it perfectly captures how I felt that night. November Rain by Guns N' Roses. There is so much raw emotion in the lyrics and guitar playing. And don't even get me started on the music video. It's certainly a band to fall in love with. All Linkin Park songs. When I hear them, I remember Chester's death and find it hard to accept that he is gone. Mockingbird, A Mine Monsieur. You'll Be in My Heart by Phil Collins. Ordinary World by Duran Duran. The song that played on the radio on my drive home late the night my mom died. Yes, it was a rainy Thursday too, and she lived on an avenue. Black Gives Way to Blue, Alice in Chains. It's been out for 11 years almost, and I've only heard it about 4 times cause it's heavy as hell. Glad it's at the end of the album so I can stop it before it plays. 1,000 Years by Christina Perri. It's a great yet sad song for me. How Soon Is Now? The Smiths. Augustana, Boston. Mockingbird by Eminem. When I'm Gone by Eminem. The Light Behind Your Eyes by My Chemical Romance. Tomorrow Is a Long Time by Bob Dylan. Chapel by Nicole Dollanganger. I tend to exclusively save these for the feels bad nights. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And it doesn't really stop me from listening, but Casimir Pulaski Day is incredibly emotionally powerful for me. Israel Kamakaviva Ole's version makes me sob like a baby. Nutshell by Alice in Chains or Rooster by Alice in Chains. Float On by Modest Mouse. I really fucked up and lost a friendship with someone I believe is my best friend's soulmate. That was our song. We're still floating on, even if we're apart. My Body is a Cage by Peter Gabriel. If I'm not careful I will start to cry. Hotel California. I lived there for just a few days over 16 years and had to move and leave everything behind. It'll be tough to move back. Economy is fucked there lol. But the effort would be worth it for me. Strawberry Fields Forever, The Beatles. It's a beautiful song but the very first chords always make me tear up. Cancer. The Cover by 21 Pilots. It hurt especially after I found out that a close parent figure of mine had been diagnosed with cancer. At one point in time, Car Radio by 21 Pilots did this for me. I was going through a rough point in my life and the lyrics deeply resonated with me. Especially since my car didn't have a radio at the time. The need to have something to distract you head from your own dark thoughts being unfulfilled and being forced to face my issues by mentally fighting through them head on instead of just using the music to escape. That song helped me find a way to not just cope with but overcome my depression. In my opinion, Top's older stuff, Taxicab, Trees, Forest, is so much better than their new stuff. Heavy Dirty Soul, Chlorine, Level of Concern, and more meaningful I guess. Tyler's lyrics have always been so well crafted, but in tracks like Guns for Hands he spits about depression and things like that. Vessel is by far my favorite album by them, but they are all good. So happy that you got over your depression. And I am glad that songs nowadays are sorta more open to dark topics like suicide, mental illness, and death. Music is a great coping tool. Rise Against Savior. The Trapeze Swinger by Iron and Wine. Live version typically. Live performances are also preferable for any song really. Oh my irony for this one. Fergie's song about girls not crying gets me every time. There's a line that she says about holding my hand if you want to, which is usually where I lose it. I've had to change the station while driving with my kids for fear of accidents. Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. Like the song, but it really hits you after you've lost someone and it comes on. It's from a video game soundtrack, but Arabs themed as this for me. When I was 13, my mom was almost killed in a car accident. When I saw her in the hospital, hooked up to those tubes, it played in my head. Ever since then, that song, while beautiful, reminds me of that time. Hunger by the Florence and the Machines. Baby Mine is an SFW song for me to listen to. I cannot listen to that song without ugly crying. Rosie's Lullaby by Norah Jones. My sister, Rosie, died from a heroin overdose and we scattered her ashes in the ocean. It's just so perfect. Greater than she walked by the ocean and waited for a star to carry her away. Greater than feeling so small at the bottom of the world, looking up to God. Greater than tries to take deep breaths to smell the salty sea as it moves over her feet. Greater than the water pulls so strong and no one is around, and the moon is looking down saying, greater than saying, Rosie, come with me, close your eyes and dream. Spring Day. That song is reserved for special occasions. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.